Hey, so new cards were leaked. Enough said, really. Let's get right into it. FiendSmith stuff is what it's called. I like it. I think it's cool. The main question I think most people have in this community specifically, or the Heroes and Yubel players, or like any rogue player really, can this be played in Heroes or Yubel? And I will get to that, but let's just start with going through every single card so people can understand what these cards actually do if they haven't heard of them yet, because these are literally brand new off the printing press right now. So if you already know what these cards do, just skip to a point I'll put in the video. There are chapters for a reason, I'll use them. So the FiendSmith, this is the main boy. He's awesome. He's the Disney Axel looking ass. And now he's about to get sued by Disney because they look identical. You can't tell me they don't. But the FiendSmith is a level 6 light fiend effects monster with 824 defense. Doesn't really matter. You can discard this card, add one FiendSmith spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. This part exactly you're not really going to have to care about, but it will come up eventually. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one of the light fiend monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Extra deck special summon this card. You can only use each effect of the FiendSmith once per turn. Then you have this fusion monster, which we're not going to spend too much time on because it's not super integral and I don't go over it in this video. But the main thing to understand is that monsters your opponent controls do 600. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target one light fiend monster in graveyard or banished zone and either add it to your hand or special summon it. If this card is in the graveyard, you can shuffle one of the light fiend monster in the graveyard of the extra deck. It's not super duper played, but it probably will be played because it's a good card if you play this. But in specifically Yubel, it's not played, but I think if you know, read it if you want. It's not what I'm going to focus on right now. This one is a pain in the ass because it requires a FiendSmith, so the FiendSmith, which is this guy, plus 2 light fiend monsters. So in just this engine alone is going to be a pain in the ass to get out, and specifically any deck that doesn't play light fiend monsters. Because it basically has to be you start with this and then you get to this. Otherwise, if you don't have this in your hand, it's not happening. Which is most of the engine to begin with. It's if you don't have this in your hand and discarding it, you're basically not doing the rest of this. But there are other cards to support that, so it's fine. This is like Contrast Euro Chaos, basically, but it can negate cards up to the link rating, but you're only really going to do it once, which is fine. Or it's like the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend card. If this card is in the graveyard, you can shuffle one of the light fiend monsters from your graveyard into the extra deck, then target one card in the field center. And it also has like an Avramax. But at that point, if you have this on the field, it can't be targeted with card effects. So it's basically Avramax with a negate and without a battle. This is the card which is kind of nuts. So you can only special summon this once per turn, but during the main phase quick effect, you contribute this card special summon a FiendSmith monster from your hand or deck. That's the part that matters. If you're not really understanding what's going on right now, I'm just going to tell you what matters and what doesn't matter. This part matters. This card matters if you want to make any of these two. Otherwise, if you don't want to make them, it's just a fiend monster that lets you fusion summon. That's it. It just lets you miracle fusion without using the field. And you can also, once you've done that, you can target and then equip it, and then it has targeting protection. This is just add one light fiend monster to your deck to your hand and discard one card. Kind of crack, but it's also Miracle Fusion. Awesome, right? Or is it Dark Cooling? Because let's use it from your hand. Yeah, no, this isn't Miracle Fusion. This is Dark Cooling. It's a fusion spell, but it's also a searcher, which is kind of amazing because if you draw doubles, it's still really good. This is FiendSmith Sanctus. This is basically Hornet Drones. That's the best way to imagine it. It just summons a fiend token, so you can go link 1 and go from there. This card is really good. Reset this if your FiendSmith monster is destroyed. This is just Zeus. No cap. It's just target one level 7 or higher light fiend monster you control, send all cards to the field to the graveyard except that monster. If your opponent special summons a monster as cards in your graveyard, you can banish this card, send one FiendSmith monster from your deck to the extra deck to the graveyard. These cards are really good. So basically what you need to understand is this engine, I probably explained it really quickly, so you better not be on 2 times because you're not going to understand shit. But one thing you understand is this summons a token, this searches the FiendSmith, which searches the token summoning card, and then you can pop off. FiendSmith cards. I thought I would just test them out on Dueling Book because I have all the cards here. So a hand of this will basically be any rank 6. This is a 1-card engine for just a rank. You discard this, grab this, activate this, you get a token, because you can discard this for any FiendSmith spell or trap. This just lets you summon a light fiend token, and then you go link 1 into Requiem, and then Requiem's effect is during the main phase. Quick effect, you contribute this card to summon FiendSmith monster from your hand or deck. But we're going to use the quick effect, special summon the FiendSmith, and then we can special summon the other FiendSmith from our graveyard by shuffling this back into the extra deck. So, 1 card Beatrice, basically. There you go. 1 card Beatrice, and then you can send anything. So, I don't think you can play this in Heroes, which sucks. But, I mean, obviously, you can only play with, like, Light Fiends, and I'm pretty sure it locks you into Light Fiends at some point. No, it does it. Oh, you just can't declare attacks versus turn except with fiend monsters. So you can still play it in decks that don't have fiends. You're not like hard locked out. I feel like this would require a specific hand to summon either of these. But so far, just the man himself is a 1-card Beatrice, which is kind of good. What other rank 6s are there that could actually be worth going into, other than, you know, the best one? Let's go monster. I mean, there's always DD Wave High King, Caesar. That, unironically, could be useful in Heroes because it stops you getting Nibiru'd. Like, no cap. That's an engine just to summon up a negate to stop you getting Nibiru'd. That's funny. I didn't realize that, actually. That's good. Yeah, there's 2 level 6 Fiend monsters. Holy shit. Yeah, no, this is fine. This is actually completely fine. You could probably play this in Yubel, actually. Just to go into this. You could play it in Dragons, and then you can detach all materials, especially summon Dragon monsters from your deck. That's kind of crack. Oh yeah, summon Magic Magician gonna do it. Nibbles. You can get a spell and trap card negate. That's not terrible, but it's not exactly an Omni. These aren't bad. These aren't terrible. There are actually some really good rank 6s you could go into. Obviously, you have to understand if someone does this. I'm actually tempted to like test this with Heroes and see what they can do. Because like obviously you can't use Hero Lives and the Fiend stuff at the same time. But it's not like you're gonna draw that in the same deck. So let me just mess around for a bit and come up with a deck list. Hit the subscribe button, you nerds. You play 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this. You'd be locked out of a lot of hand traps, specifically, so that would kind of suck. But you could always, like, just drop this engine down a lot. It could go down way more. But I think this is fine, because this gets you to this, and then this gets you to this, and then you can do the whole thing. Okay, so we need a hand with at least, like, the guy in it. So here we go. You can discard this card, add 1 FiendSmith card from your deck to your hand. So we will discard this card to the graveyard, but we will grab this to the hand. Then we go Sanctus. Assuming we don't get Drolled here, of course, because like that would be annoying. And then we click effect, get rid of this, and you shuffle this back in to the extra special him. And then you can go overlay into DD King High Caesar. Now with that, you can go when a spell trap card or monster effect that is activated and includes effect special summon a monster. Quick effect, you can attach material from this card to negate the activation. That's not a hard one to turn either. It's normally played in Yubel. It's really good. It requires 2 level 6 Fiend monsters, which is what the FiendSmith is. Now at this point, we have a Nibiru negate and we can just play, which is kind of crack. But then we can just normal this. We can send any, it doesn't really matter. I would say Shadow Mist, just because we'll do that. Shadow Mist effect, because we've got Fusion Destiny in our hand. Shadow Mist will add any hero from our deck to our hand, which is a weird one. But we are going to have to add Neos here, because we don't really have an option. Because if we don't, then we just don't end up with Neos in our hand, which would suck. And we don't really have another winner here. Then we just go Declare, and we banish the Shadow Mist, which sucks, because now we don't have a way to keep that on field. Then we just grab ourselves a Poly. And then we can go Polymerization between him and him. You make Sunrise. Sunrise effect, we'll grab No Confusion to hand. Do anything else, because we can't make that, we can't make that. We'd have to play like a completely different deck list. Like you probably wouldn't ever play Cross Crusader, you probably wouldn't play this, and you'd play like something else. And then you'd like try to do other stuff. So like, my point is that it's doable. I mean, you can still end on a board of like, they actually just end on DPE this. He's also a water monster, which is kind of crack, because you can use him for absolute 0, which is kind of nice. But main thing I've noticed is that, yes, we can't be nibbed and we have some protection, and also, like, we can stop other cards, but, like, it's not great. Yes, you can do it, but I think it, like, heavily will be hand-reliant. Like, heavily hand-reliant. Which is just Heroes in general. Like, this is actually, like, the perfect hand you could do. This would easily just end on... This would end on Darklaw Boss. Like, it would be Darklaw, it would be DPE, it'd be, like, the whole engine plus, like, the DDD. So, like, this... Plus this and this is just crack. Like this would actually be a great hand. I don't need to do that to show you that. Obviously, like I just do this again, make the level 6. So I think I'm done messing with heroes. But for the most part, it would just be quite inconsistent of what you would do. And basically what you would decide if you're playing this variant specifically, you'd be like, well, is this going to end me on a less optimal board if I make this? And I think if you're playing a card which only sometimes makes you a good end board, isn't really worth playing. I'll put Heroes in the maybe pile for this engine, because it could be really, really good, or just kind of, you just don't even use it, so. I think this Fusion Monster isn't useful, I think this isn't useful. And we just don't play it to get to that. We just play it to get, like, another DD High King Caesar. I mean, it's just a better way of getting to, your boy, that's it. your boy Diddy King, High Caesar, that's it. Playing one of this is better because drawing that, it's not what you want to draw specifically. Obviously, seeing it's fine. It does get you a monster on field, but it's not great. This, I think you want at 3. I think this, you want at 3. There you go. FiendSmith, Tractus, FiendSmith, and you play 1 Sanctus, 1 Paradisium. This is kind of cracked, actually, because you go to the graveyard, right? Add the 1 of Sanctus to your hand. Go Sanctus, token into the Link monster. So you summon a token, and now I'm Link summoning, just in case you're wondering, because, like, this doesn't just Link summon, it summons a token, and then I'm Link summoning. I'm just skipping a step because I want to be fast. Then you do this. Then you do summon the FiendSmith, aka Axel from Kingdom Hearts. Then you activate the other effect, which just by putting this back in the extra deck, you can special this guy. And now you have, now you just have this. Now he's one of spell or trap card or special summon thing is, now you can't be Nibiru. You've summoned 4 times and you can't be Nibiru. Again, obviously all of this, any of this could just be impermed, but the best part about half of this is that it's quick effects. The Link monster is a quick effect, so if they go to imperm it, you can just quick effect, tribute out, summon one. So basically they can't really interrupt this with anything other than Ash, which is nice. And no one's really playing Ash in specifically this format, but formats to come, we'll see. So then you just normal summon the Dark Beckoning Beast, and then you grab the Spirit Gates. Now if you didn't have D-Lotus here, you could just go into this engine and then do other stuff. But thankfully you do have it, so then you can go Spirit Gates, add another Fiend Boy. Add him to your hand. Then you normal summon Lotus. Activate effect, we get Spirit of Yubel. Then you activate this, which allows you to add... I mean, to be fair, even at this point, you can still set stuff. So you can play around Droll if they've drolled you at this point. But the point is that they're not going to do that, hopefully. At this point, you can go these 2 into Lord of Yama, which I'm going to do. Should we pop first? I think we should pop first, just because we can get into Yubel. We'll go Nightmare Pain, Destroy. So then we get a search and summon off of each other. So now we're going to search Mature Chronicle? Or Eternal Favorite? Where's Eternal? Eternal Favorite's in my hands. Yeah, Mature Chronicle. We add this, special this. Then we activate Mature Chronicle. So we can start getting counters. Then we go this into Lord of Yama. Declare effect. Add blue. Then we can declare effect of this, sending blue to the graveyard. Special summoning Yubel, which puts a counter on this. Then we can need to set a card to pop it. We could literally just do it with this because the spell card. Declare effect, we can destroy this. And special you. And then we can go... So we just go these 2. And if for some reason they can get through something else, we're good. This is good, I think. And then you can just set this and you're going to discard for it. Assuming you don't get interrupted at all, you can end on High King Caesar with 2 FiendSmith and then Unchained Solid Rage and Yubel. So I think that's probably the best way to do this if you are going to do this, is just like 1 Requiem and just the FiendSmith engine. I think that's actually kind of cracked. No cap. I think that's good. I think that's actually really good. Obviously, once Phantom of Yubel comes out, this won't even be like playable at all, because there's just no point at that point. Yeah, no, at that point, I think you'd just be playing with the Unchained stuff, because the FiendSmith stuff is good, but all it literally does is give you this, and the only reason you have this is for Nibiru. But in saying that, at the end of your turn, you could just shuffle Spirit of Yubel and Dark Beckoning Beast back into the deck and make Phantom of Yubel anyway, so it wouldn't be that bad. So yeah, you could play... And this is basically Fiend Link at this point. Obviously, this is not always going to happen. You're not going to have, like, obviously great hands. But point being is that it's playable. So what do I think of the FiendSmith stuff? I think it's good. I think it's going to be more abused for the fact that it's just one card Beatrice than the Fusion Monster, because the Fusion Monster is pretty hard to get out. In conclusion, FiendSmith stuff kind of cracked. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, check out the main channel.